Welcome to Fascinating Frontiers, episode 139. Today is July 22nd, 2026. Here's your space and science briefing. A European spacecraft just cleared its final major test before hunting Earth-like worlds around Sun-like stars. The European Space Agency's Plato mission has completed its last major spacecraft test ahead of a 2027 Ariane 6 launch. Engineers confirmed the spacecraft's systems performed as expected during the final verification campaign. Once in orbit, the spacecraft will monitor thousands of Sun-like stars for transiting Earth-sized planets. The data will help astronomers determine how common potentially habitable worlds are in the Milky Way. The next milestone is integration with the launch vehicle. Now, shifting to a different part of the sky. Astronomers have confirmed a P-vatron near the star Altair that accelerates protons to peta-electron volt energies. Gamma-ray, radio, and X-ray observations from 3 observatories ruled out alternative explanations. The source is the first conclusively identified galactic accelerator of this class. A Hiroshima University-led team combined the multi-wavelength datasets to reach the conclusion. The finding opens the search for similar objects elsewhere in the Milky Way. On a different note, the IXPE telescope has produced the first direct measurement of the magnetic field around a pulsar in the Lighthouse Nebula. The spinning neutron star's extreme environment generates structured magnetic fields that shape the surrounding nebula. IXPE's polarization data reveal how the field is oriented relative to the pulsar's rotation axis. This measurement provides a new window into the physics of these ultra-dense objects. Follow-up observations are planned to compare the field geometry with theoretical models. The same extreme objects that generate these fields also power missions focused on orbital servicing. A 2-armed robotic spacecraft lifted off on a mission to attach life extension jetpacks to satellites running low on fuel. The targets orbit thousands of kilometers above Earth. The servicer will rendezvous with multiple vehicles and install new propulsion units. Success would allow operators to keep existing satellites in service longer. The mission represents the first dedicated commercial satellite servicing flight of its kind. Meanwhile, a Falcon 9 lifted off from Florida carrying the Northrop Grumman MRV MEP mission. All payloads reached orbit and were successfully deployed. The booster flying this mission has now completed 32 flights since its debut in December 2021. Those flights have delivered cargo to the space station and launched dozens of Starlink satellites. Deployment of every MRV MEP payload was confirmed shortly after separation. Reusability is also advancing on the other side of the planet. Orion Space completed its 3rd Gravity 1 solid rocket flight from waters near Shanghai. The 30-meter vehicle placed 9 satellites into orbit. The launch demonstrates continued progress for China's commercial launch sector using sea-based operations. All payloads were reported successfully separated after liftoff. The mission marks the latest step in building a domestic commercial launch capability. Another nation's commercial sector is also moving forward. Skyroot Aerospace's Vikram 1 rocket reached orbit, marking the first successful private orbital launch from India. The flight demonstrated indigenous solid and liquid propellant stages. The company now joins a small group of nations with demonstrated private launch capability. The milestone advances India's growing commercial space sector. The vehicle lifted off carrying a payload that reached its intended orbit. While one company extends satellite life, another booster just added 32 flights to its resume. NASA's Psyche mission captured a sequence of images while passing Mars. The time-lapse shows the planet growing and then receding during the gravity assist maneuver. Mission teams are using the data to refine navigation for the asteroid encounter. The flyby also provided an opportunity to test several instruments. The images offer a clear record of the spacecraft's trajectory adjustment. While one spacecraft uses Mars for a speed boost, another is preparing technology that could one day make fuel on the red planet itself. The Mars Atmospheric Reactor for Synthesis of Consumables passed its final NASA review. The Southwest Research Institute and University of Texas at San Antonio device will fly on parabolic aircraft to test performance in partial gravity. The electrolyzer aims to produce oxygen and fuel from the Martian atmosphere. The experiment is now designated ready to fly. Parabolic flights will simulate the reduced gravity conditions expected on the Martian surface. Global dust storms on Mars generate strong electric fields in addition to blocking sunlight. These fields can interfere with spacecraft electronics and solar panels. Researchers are now modeling how the charge builds and discharges during planet-wide events. The work will inform design requirements for future landers and orbiters. Only Earth, Mars, and Titan are known to host active dust storms among planetary bodies. From planetary weather to the ice dynamics of our own world, the US-India NISAR satellite's L-band radar captured an image of Nunatak Zatarjevskiza, a mountain peak surrounded by flowing ice. Stresses around the obstruction create a distinctive fracture pattern resembling a hummingbird. Public access to NISAR's L-band and S-band data began on July 20. The radar observations help track ice movement and surface deformation across Antarctica. Processed files from both instruments are being released on an ongoing basis. From Earth's changing ice to a brief celestial alignment visible tonight, Saturn's moon Dione skims north of the planet's pole between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Observers with telescopes can watch the 10th magnitude moon against the ringed planet. The event offers a brief chance to see the satellite's position relative to Saturn's north pole. The moon appears to travel just above the planet's visible limb during the passage. Clear skies and steady seeing will help observers catch the alignment. From tonight's sky to a milestone 15 years in the past, STS-135 touched down 15 years ago today, closing the Space Shuttle program. Atlantis completed the 135th and last mission of the fleet. The landing marked the end of an era that began in 1981. The orbiter returned safely after delivering supplies to the International Space Station. No further shuttle flights followed the conclusion of the program. From the end of one program to the start of another young person's journey, Gia Bula from South Africa was selected for NASA's United Space School program. The opportunity gives students hands-on exposure to space science and engineering projects. Participants work alongside NASA scientists during the summer session. The program introduces young people to mission planning, research methods, and technical challenges. Bula's selection highlights international participation in NASA educational initiatives. Researchers are examining whether the cosmological constant remains the best explanation for the universe's accelerating expansion. The work tests whether current observations still require a component that makes up roughly 70% of the universe's energy density. Alternative models are being compared against the latest supernova and large-scale structured data. The study identifies potential cracks in the standard cosmological framework. Ongoing surveys will supply additional constraints on the nature of the acceleration. Plenty more cosmic stories are unfolding this week. Astronomers have now confirmed the first P-Vitron in the Milky Way by combining gamma-ray, radio, and X-ray observations near Altair. The source accelerates protons to energies 1,000 times higher than the most powerful human-made accelerators. This detection finally solves a decades-old puzzle about where the galaxy's highest energy cosmic rays originate. The next step is to locate additional P-Vatrons and determine whether they share the same acceleration mechanism. If the Sun were shrunk to the size of a city, its mass would fit inside a neutron star. A single teaspoon of that material would weigh as much as Mount Everest. Inside the star, protons and electrons are crushed together into neutrons, yet a small fraction of charged particles remain free and race around the ultra-dense core at near-light speeds. Their motion creates electric currents that, amplified by the star's rapid rotation, generate magnetic fields reaching 10 to the 12 Gauss. These fields are strong enough to pull the electrons right off atoms. these fields are not uniform. They form tangled bundles that channel radiation into narrow beams, producing the lighthouse effect we observe as pulsars. The exact process that maintains such intense fields over millions of years remains unsolved. Theorists still cannot explain why some neutron stars appear to possess even stronger magnetar fields, while others do not. Next time, keep an eye on updates from the ongoing NISAR data releases and new parabolic flight results for the Mars electrolyzer. That's fascinating frontiers for today. If you enjoyed this, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for exploring with me, and I'll see you next time. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NARA Network. Links in the show notes. One more thing. If you liked today's episode, our sister show Models and Agents for Beginners is worth a spot in your feed. Artificial intelligence explained simply for beginners and curious teens. It's one of the NARA Network's daily briefings, all free at naranetwork.com. Prefer reading? Today's full write-up, sources, and transcript are on the episode blog at naranetwork.com. Same briefing, readable format. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.
Drifting softly through